Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to look at the McFarlane DC Multiverse Walmart exclusive gold label Dark Flash. This is basically an evil version of Flash. Looks like a zombie Flash. He's from Speed Metal, which is an offshoot of the Dark Knight's Metal event. Want to give a big shout out to my boy, Toy Hunters Collective from Instagram. He hooked me up with the two newest gold label Walmart exclusive figures, which is a huge relief. Now I don't have to stop at Walmart every single day on the way home from work. So let's go and take a look at the packaging. As you can see at the top, 22 moving parts, McFarlane toys, ages 12 plus, McFarlane Gold Label Collection, DC Multiverse, Dark Flash. Here he is in the package. Looks like he has a couple of Speed Force effects, a collector's card, and a display stand. One side of the package, Dark Flash from Speed Metal. Other side simply says Dark Flash. At the bottom, got a bunch of credits, and there is a barcode, in case it helps anybody. And at the back side, here's a few different versions of the Dark Flash. They all have different faces, so I thought we would have sort of a Robin Crow situation, where there are 3 different variants. But to my knowledge, there's only this one open mouth variant. Which, once again, is kind of a relief. This guy could potentially work as an army builder, although I don't have any need to army build the Dark Flash. So no further ado, let's open him up. And I want to give another big shout out to my boy Toy Hunters Collective from Instagram. He hooked me up with the 2 newest Walmart exclusive gold label figures. Walmart exclusives are my least favorite. You can almost never get them off the app. The stores almost never have them. You can't track them down with a barcode very easily. Target exclusives, no problem. I got that down to a science. But Walmart exclusives, just luck of the draw. And they always seem to hit my area of the country dead last. Alright, now that we got this figure out of the package, here he is with all his accessories laid out. He does come with 2 Speed Force effects, a display stand, and a collector's card. Before we look at those, let's talk about and check out the actual figure. So this is Dark Flash from Speed Metal. It's essentially a zombie Flash. It's a speedster in a black suit with a rotting undead face. It collects the dead of those gifted with the speed and returns them to the Speed Force at the end of their lives. They're all trying to outrun their own personal reaper. So let's take a look at him. Starting with his face here, it looks fantastic. Mouth is open, screaming, looks like he's going to bite somebody. Eyes are pure white. Nose, sort of missing, very zombie-ish. He's got the signature lightning bolts inside his head. As we go further down, he's got the Flash logo on his chest. Short sleeve suit, double jointed elbows. He's got a little bit of gold armor here. Suit has a little bit of texturing going on. Double jointed knees. Everything's done in the new style, not the ball joints, the new ankle joints and wrist joints. Overall, he looks pretty good. Should be a nice addition to the Dark Knight's Metal team, to the Speed Force team, and to your zombie collection. And just a closer look at his face and head sculpt. I think it looks great. Terrifying, yet terrific. Now, on the back of the box, and the card that comes with him, it almost looks like there are going to be 3 different versions of this Flash, 3 different face sculpts, but that appears not to be the case. This is the only one that I've seen online. It looks like it's just for promotional material, and there's only one face you can get. Now let's take a look at his accessories, and let's start with the boring stuff. Here's his display stand. Typical McFarlane stand, black perfect circle. It says DC on the bottom. It's got 1 peg for the peg holes on his feet. It's very thin, very basic. Now let's look at his collector's card. As you can see, it's an image of the Dark Flash. Just like I said before, it looks like there were 3 different face sculpts, but apparently that's just not the case. Dark Flash from Speed Metal. On the back side, there is a description. If you want to read that, go ahead and pause now. Now let's look at his Speed Force effects. He has 2 of them. Presumably they go around his legs. They are unique sculpts. They are not identical. They're made in a semi-transparent plastic, kind of yellow, kind of orange. Here's the Dark Flash, running toward the camera. He doesn't have Speed Force effects on right now. And here he is, with the Speed Force effects attached. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and his accessories, now let's check out his height. From bottom to the top of his head, he's staying at about 7.2 inches tall, which can translate to about 18 centimeters. Now let's look at his articulation, and a question for anyone out there that has this figure. His ear's loose. Mine is fairly loose. You can see the arms up and down so easy, kind of go outward. Really just sort of the arms going up and down is the loosest part of this guy. Just curious if it's just mine or widespread. So start with his head here. Of course, it can rotate from side to side. He can look up about that far, which is pretty good. Down about that far. Should be able to get you into some good running poses looking forward. Can tilt his head from one side to the other. Shoulders on a ball joint. Goes out more than 90 degrees. Up, down, around, all that good stuff. He's got a butterfly joint between shoulder and chest area. Increasing the range of motion and covering that large gap. Bicep cut below that. Double jointed elbows that go all the way in. His wrists going to rotate, and it's going to be hinged as well. Ball joint his torso, rotate around, forward and back. Kind of loose here as well. Another ball joint his waist, rotate around, forward and back, giving him very wide range of motion in his torso area. Legs, complete does a splits, not a ball joint, but a similar type concept. Rotation is non-existent. Legs go forward about that much, back, not very much. Double jointed knees, and his ankle here. And notice how seamless that looks, not those ugly ball joints. Forward and back, rotation, tilt, rock, and he has two articulation. For this next scene, we're going to switch to a graveyard type setting. Here's a look at the Dark Flash, Zombie Flash, rising up out of the grave. And for this next scene, let's switch to a street setup of Central City. Here's Barry Allen using the Speed Force, running through the streets of Central City. The Dark Flash is chasing after Barry Allen. Barry Allen feels a disturbance in the Speed Force, looks back, and sees this awful image of a zombie Flash. The Dark Flash is almost caught up to Barry Allen. Barry Allen pushes as hard as he can and gets away. Now let's check him out, next to some other action figures, starting off with some other McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here's the Walmart exclusive gold label Dark Flash, next to the Walmart exclusive gold label Shazam. These two figures are shown at Walmart right now. Here's the Dark Flash, next to the comic Rebirth Flash. This is Barry Allen. It's probably the most appropriate Flash to take on Dark Flash. And here he is, next to the Injustice 2 Flash. This is also Barry Allen. Then, next to the Flash from Zack Snyder's Justice League, played by Ezra Miller. This is also Barry Allen. And here he is, next to Flash from CW's TV show. He's played by Grant Gustin, and it's also Barry Allen. Here's Dark Flash, next to Flash from the animated Justice League Unlimited show, and from the Rebirth. Both of these figures are Wally West. Now this is not the first evil Flash they've made. Here he is, next to Red Death. This is technically Barry Allen's body, but Bruce Wayne has taken over. Red Death is from Dark Knight's Metal. Then, next to the Reverse Flash from DC's Rebirth comics. Reverse Flash is essentially an evil version of Flash. I notice the Dark Flash's logo is going the same direction as Reverse Flash. And here he is next to Godspeed. He's been an evil speedster, but also a good one. Just depends on what time period of the comics you're looking at. Here's Dark Flash, next to all the different Barry Allen Flash figures they've made. Each one of them had a variant. Here are all the different Speed Force figures McFarlane has made. We have a total of 16 of them. Quite a few. I know there's an upcoming Page Puncher Flash wave, and there's also a Build-A-Figure Flash wave coming up in the near future. Here's Dark Flash, next to the evil Batman team from Dark Knight's Metal, led by the Batman Who Laughs. He's not part of that team, but he does fit in pretty nice with them. Added a few more of these Dark Knight's Metal figures, and you've got a really big, evil DC hero Dark Knight's Metal team. Dark Flash fits in very nice with these guys, although he's not part of this team. Now let's check him out, next to some other recently released McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here he is, next to the two newest Mega figures, Bane and Necron. And here are all the newest Walmart exclusive gold label figures: Rebirth Shazam, Speed Metal Dark Flash, Parallax Hal Jordan, and Azrael in Batman armor. Then, next to the Rebirth Deathstroke and the Court of Owls Talon, here's Dark Flash, next to the Speeding Bullets Batman and Batrocidus, and here he is, next to the Blue Beetle and Booster Gold 2-pack. Then, with the Future State Superman, the New 52 Static, and the Infinite Frontier Scarecrow. Then, with the McFarlane Toy Store exclusive gold label paint variants of the Arkham Knight Red Hood and Scarecrow. And now, here he is, next to the first wave of Page Punchers. Series 2 is coming out soon. Here's Dark Flash, next to the Black Adam movie wave. And here he is, next to the Blackest Night wave, Collective Build Atrocitus. Then, next to Martian Manhunter, both Classic and Rebirth. Now, here he is, next to the Target exclusive Crime Syndicate, Ultraman, Superwoman, and Owlman. Here's Dark Flash, next to all 3 versions of Lex Luthor in his power suit. And here he is, next to both versions of the Future State Dark Detective Batman. Then, with Duke Thomas from Tales of the Dark Multiverse, and the Batman Who Laughs, dressed as Batman. And finally, here he is, next to both versions of the Zernar Batman, and all 3 variations of the Infinite Frontier Robin. Now let's check him out, next to some action figures from different various companies, to see how he fits in both scale and style-wise, in case you want to know which lines you can mix him with. Since he's a McFarlane figure, they're typically the 7-inch scale. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of the large action figure lines I collect, and work my way smaller. But first, let's check him out with some of his McFarlane Toys brothers. In front of you are 5 different action figure lines, all from McFarlane Toys, all 7-inch scale. Then, with some more McFarlane Toys, these are from different various video game properties. And now, next to some Jack-specific wrestling figures. And here he is, next to some DST or Diamond Select toys. Then, next to some DC Direct and DC Collectibles figures. And here he is, standing next to some NECA figures. Then, here he is with some Mattel wrestling figures. And now, next to some Jazzwares AEW wrestlers. And here he is, next to some Mezco 112 collective figures. Then, next to some Mattel DC Universe Classics and Multiverse figures. And here he is, next to some Maplex figures. Then, with some Hasbro Marvel Legends. And here he is, next to some SH Figure Arts action figures. And finally, here he is, next to some Jazzwares Fortnite figures. Overall, it's a pretty nice figure. It's a character that I really did not need in my action figure collection, but he looks really cool. My guy has some issues with his shoulders. They're very loose. Almost feels like maybe the sockets are a little too big for the peg and the butterfly joint. Also feel like his torso and neck are a little bit loose, but not as bad as his shoulders. I mean, they're usable. They'll stay in poses most of the time, but they do kind of flop around. Sculpt and paint job are excellent. No issues there. Accessories, the Speed Force effects, pretty cool. You can use them for this guy and a bunch of other Flash figures. His articulation is everything you'd expect from a McFarlane DC Multiverse figure. If I were to rate this figure, I'm going to give it a 6.5 out of 10. The figure itself is nice, he looks great, he's got the loose issue, and it's just not really a figure or character I needed. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I will talk to you guys real soon.